Hey everybody, this is at now_world_order, and this is going to be my thoughts on some recent WWE news, but this will mainly be a prediction video and preview video for WWE Battleground. It's going to be live this Sunday on pay-per-view, or if you have the WWE Network like I do, at $10 a month or $9.99, whatever it is. You do get it included with that too. So if you don't already have the WWE Network, I am not an employee of the WWE in any way, shape, or form, but I will tell anyone who is a wrestling fan or has ever been or is even a little bit interested in professional wrestling that the WWE Network is a great thing to have, and check out Battleground this Sunday. I'll be talking about that in just a second. First off, the biggest news of the week, at least in my opinion, there was some pretty big news this week, but Sting finally made some sort of WWE debut. We saw him talking on the network about the Ultimate Warrior briefly when he passed. That was the first real glimpse of Sting that we saw, like, nowadays on a WWE produced show of any kind. That wasn't like a highlight video or anything for WCW. Sting's going to be a playable character in WWE 2K15. I'll be getting that on the Xbox One for sure. I will be pre-ordering it because I want to get Sting in the game. It's cool they're doing the two versions. I love that they're going to have the old surfer, blonde hair, flat top, colorful face paint Sting, and also the long dark hair, red and black, white and black, Wolfpack, loner. Not sure if he's in the NWO or not, but he definitely isn't, but he kind of was, but he wasn't. Loved it. I was a giant WCW fan back in the day. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, where they were headquartered, so there wasn't many bigger fans of the NWO or guys like Sting out there than me. As a matter of fact, my YouTube channel, if you're watching it here, or my Twitter page, is at NOW_WORLD_ORDER, at now_world_order, a clear play on words of New World Order, so there you go. I think it's great that Sting's finally making progress of coming into the WWE. I think at some point in the hopefully near future, we will finally see Sting in a WWE ring. I think he owes it to the fans. I think he owes it to himself. I think he owes it to the just wrestling history in general that he has at least one big match in the WWE. Obviously, The Undertaker is the match that everybody has been wanting for seemingly forever. It's constantly teased every year for WrestleMania, and I think it's a definite possibility. If not The Undertaker, I mean someone like John Cena, or maybe an up-and-comer like Dolph Ziggler, or any big star that's gonna make Sting look good, because let's face it, he's been out of his prime for a while, and he was very hard for me to watch in TNA wrestling because he's just such a shell of his former self, to be completely honest. But to be fair, when that promo video ran on Raw, and you saw Sting, you saw like the shadow, like walking in the rafters, and right when that violin hit with that old Sting theme music, I got up off my seat and I was like, cool. I knew it was just for a video game, but still. And he comes down from the bungee cord or whatever, holding the baseball bat and the trench coat. The guys turn around in the Sting face paint, the orchestra, and Sting's just standing there looking at him like nowadays. And he still looks badass. He looks way cooler than he did in TNA. I mean, that's WWE production for you right there. Triple H is already on WWE.com, talking about whether or not Sting's going to show up. You can check that out if you want to on their website. They're already selling Sting t-shirts on WWE.com, so if you don't already have one or have any interest, you can buy them there too. That's a really good sign that Sting has signed some sort of deal with them. Then again, they could also still own the rights to his intellectual property, possibly, because WWE did purchase WCW back in 2001, so maybe they could have done this all along, but I think Sting's involvement in this video game is definitely the right direction, and I hope we see it soon. Some other big news this week regarding former talents of the WWE, or any other wrestler in general. CM Punk was moved to the alumni section of WWE.com the other day. I know that his contract has either ended or is ending very soon. He posted a tweet on Twitter basically thanking the fans for all their support and telling them not to take shit from anybody. I love the guy to death. I'm a big CM Punk fan. I think what he did for the company was great. That pipe bomb promo, all the promos afterwards, his run as champion for, I think it was 434 days. I hope he returns one day, and I think he will in some capacity, but I think he's just reached a level of being burned out. He's probably at the same level of burnout, if not more, than when he initially was going to leave. I think it was 2011 when he did the pipe bomb and all that stuff, when he was legitimately on his way out, and they wound up getting him to stay. And I think enough was enough. He had to get out when he got out. There's some good interviews with Paul Heyman and stuff, and people that are close to CM Punk that have better insight onto this. But apparently, for anyone who doesn't know, CM Punk basically went into a room with Triple H and Vince McMahon, and when he came out of that room, he left. He literally took his stuff and left, and he never came back. And a lot of it we all think has to do with, Bautista being brought back and put in the main event, and 2 years prior to that, the last two WrestleManias, The Rock main eventing and CM Punk never main eventing WrestleMania, and that's his ultimate goal. And to be honest, I feel for the guy. I don't like that he left the fans high and dry, and then he left the product high and dry. But I respect him. I'll stick by his side on this stuff. So, thanks for everything, CM Punk. If you ever happen to come across this, you're awesome, man. We miss you. We hope you come back. But if you don't, I respect the hell out of your decision. Also, it's interesting because AJ Lee's back. His wife apparently now, and she's the Divas champion. She did pretty much the same thing Paige did to her. And the great thing about AJ Lee, aside from she's not that bad actually, and she's very good looking, we're going to get CM Punk chants every time she's out there. I think that's pretty cool. Alright, so on to WWE Battleground 2014. Like I said, this is going to be this Sunday on the WWE Network and on pay-per-view. On the pre-show, we're going to get Cameron versus Naomi, a battle of the former Funkadactyls. I'm going to pick Naomi to win this one. I think Naomi has a pretty big upside. I'm not high on the women's division right now, but Naomi is a bright spot. I think she's actually pretty damn talented, and I look forward to seeing more from her if we have to continue to watch Divas matches in general. We're going to get on the pay-per-view, or the special event, whatever they're calling them now. I think it's still pay-per-view technically. We're going to get Jack Swagger versus Rusev. I'll tell you what, I am very impressed with this Jack Swagger face turn. And Dutch Mantel being his mouth, or Zeb Coulter. For those who don't know, Dutch Mantel and Zeb Coulter are the same guy. So Zeb Coulter, now he can cut his pro-America promos as a babyface. And that's a completely different dynamic, and I think it's something that's going to work really, really well. And it's working great against Rusev because of the whole anti-American thing. The whole Russia's better than the U.S. Lana, the hottest diva on the roster, and she talks all this shit on America and how Rusev's great and Russia's great and Putin's great and this whole deal. And you got, Jack Swagger coming out there for America. And unfortunately for Swagger, I do see Rusev winning this match. I'm going to pick Rusev to win, but it's going to be entertaining, and it's great to see Swagger actually get over. I have not heard him this over ever. Not even close. So good for him. Something that interests me a lot, and it has me thinking that this is going to happen in the future, and I hope it does. If they can keep Rusev unbeaten, keep him away from John Cena, keep him away from Randy Orton, keep him away from any major top guy that is not going to lose to Rusev. Imagine Kurt Angle coming back. I mean, he's going to be coming back to the WWE. It's inevitable, I feel like, and I think it's going to happen soon. What better guy to go up against Rusev and fight for America than our Olympic hero, the three eyes, the wrestling machine, Kurt Angle. would love to see that. And Rusev's actually pretty impressive. He's done a lot better than a lot of these guys who come in as monsters and they're not credible and they're no good. Rusev's doing a pretty good job at what he's there to do. So, once again, Rusev is my pick in this one. Up next, we've got AJ Lee versus Paige for the Divas Championship. I think AJ Lee is going to retain the championship because she did, just win it the other week. I think this is going to be a long, drawn-out feud. They're really the only two women that can really go, aside from like Naomi and Natalya, but they're kind of both far off of the title picture. There's more. Charlotte's good. There's more divas that are okay, but I think for the foreseeable future, we're going to get AJ Lee and Paige, and it's clear as day that Paige is turning heel. If not, it's going to be a big swerve, and AJ Lee does. I mean, one of them is going to turn. It's clearly, to me, it's Paige, and they're doing this whole best friends but competitive thing, and we'll see where it goes. I'm not going to waste any more time on that. Once again, AJ Lee is my prediction. After that, we've got the Usos versus the Wyatt family. It's going to be, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. This is going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match for the Tag Team Championship. I'm all for a 2 out of 3 falls match between these two teams. They've been putting on great matches and really good singles matches against one another too. I mean, they're what else can you really say? I think this is going to be a really good match. I do think this is the time that the Wyatts will finally come through and win the Tag Team Championships. They have a new entrance music. They have a new entrance in general, new lights and stuff. They're really putting the Wyatts over like they are a Tag Team Championship level team. And I think we're going to get what I've been talking about since really the debut of Stardust. I think we're going to get Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. Eric Rowan and Luke Harper versus Stardust and Goldust for the Tag Team Championship. I think it's going to happen very soon, and I think that's going to be an awesome feud. I am very, very much looking forward to that happening if it does. So once again, I've got the Wyatt family, your new Tag Team Champions. Alright, we've also got an Intercontinental Championship 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal to crown a new champion because Bad News Barrett is out with an injury. Shoulder injury, to be more specific. I'll name all these people really fast who are going to be in it. It's going to be Del Rio, Big E, Bo Dallas, Cesaro, Curtis Axel, Diego, Dolph Ziggler, Fandango, Heath Slater, Kofi Kingston, Rob Van Dam, R-Truth, Ryback, Sheamus, Sin Cara, The Great Khali, The Miz, Titus O'Neil, Xavier Woods, and Zack Ryder. Alright, in my opinion, they've done way too many Battle Royals this year. I like Battle Royals. I love the Royal Rumble. It's probably my favorite match in the WWE. But it's like, they just did this for the U.S. Championship also, and Sheamus won. My prediction to win this, as a matter of fact, is Sheamus. I think he's going to walk away as the U.S. Champion / Intercontinental Champion. Finally, a way for them to combine the two belts. And speaking of that, I thought that John Cena handing the World Heavyweight Championship to Ric Flair was a great move on the WWE's part. It's a good way to get rid of the big gold belt, the one that's got the lineage all the way back to, the NWA. And, for Flair to be the last guy we see hold that championship in his hands and walk off the ramp with it, it makes perfect sense to me. And now we're back down to one championship title, which, once again, makes perfect sense. All good stuff there. And I hope Sheamus wins this and he retires either the Intercontinental or U.S. Championship. I don't care which one. I think the U.S. Championship has looked a little more prestigious in the last few years, and then Ambrose held it for a long time, didn't retain it much. IC belt hasn't really... I mean, Cody Rhodes, I think, was the last real great Intercontinental Champion that we had, when he was wearing the mask and had the baggers and stuff. So once again, Sheamus is my pick to win that match and be the new Intercontinental and U.S. Champion. Next, we've got Y2J, Chris Jericho, taking on Bray Wyatt. I think this match is going to be pretty damn awesome. Chris Jericho is one of my top 3 favorite wrestlers ever. Depending on the day you ask me, he is my favorite. My top 3 all-time being Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels, and Randy Savage. I think that Wyatt's going to win this one. I think this is going to be a fairly long feud, and I think this is going to be mainly what Jericho does during his comeback, and I think he's only going to be around for a little while. He's got a lot of other stuff going on that he's probably more passionate about than professional wrestling nowadays. A lot easier on his body, too. I think Wyatt's going to win this, and we'll have some sort of return match that Jericho will somehow squeeze a victory out of, and then maybe we'll have a third match where Wyatt, really gets a clear-cut, decisive, big victory. I think Jericho's sole purpose in this scenario is to put over Bray Wyatt, and that's why I love guys like Chris Jericho. When he comes back, he puts over guys. I mean, he even put over Fandango at WrestleMania 2 years ago. He put over Punk the year before that. He actually has a terrible record at WrestleMania when you think about it, but he comes back and he doesn't steal the spotlight from people that that deserve it. And yeah, he's going up against a main eventer, but he's going to put him over. There's no way Jericho's going to come out of this feud looking like he won over Bray Wyatt. This is all about putting over Bray Wyatt. This isn't The Rock coming back and winning the championship. This isn't Batista coming back and winning the Royal Rumble and then headlining WrestleMania. This isn't even Brock Lesnar coming back and beating the streak, even though Lesnar's a little bit different of a scenario than everyone else for a lot of different reasons. But once again, I think Bray Wyatt will beat Chris Jericho in this match. After that, we've got the match that I'm actually looking forward to most on the whole show. It's going to be Dean Ambrose taking on Seth Rollins. This is going to be another feud that I think will, continue. It's going to be a long one. And I think Rollins is going to win this match on this show. I think Dean Ambrose will win the overall feud, but I think it makes more sense booking-wise to have Rollins go over, so then you got Dean Ambrose who's got to climb even harder to get back to get that victory back from Rollins. And I think we're going to have some giant, huge blow-off at some point for this feud. Some crazy match, some crazy spots. These guys are going to deliver. That's one thing we can guarantee. This match is going to be good, regardless of who wins. I'd prefer Ambrose to win personally, but I think it makes sense for Rollins to win, and I'm totally okay with that. Both guys are phenomenal. So once again, Seth Rollins is my choice here. And the last match on the card for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, it's a fatal four-way. John Cena, your champion, taking on Kane, Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns. My prediction is that John Cena will retain the championship and continue his 15th reign as champion. It's inevitable that he'll beat Ric Flair, but if he'll get his 16th and I'm sure 17th, he'll probably be a 20-something time champion by the time he retires. What to do? I don't expect much out of this match, honestly. The most interesting dynamic here is Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns is a future WWE champion. There's no doubt about it. It's not a matter of if, but when. But I don't think the time is right now to do it. You got to build him a little more slowly. I don't think he's quite ready. Have him go one-on-one with Orton a few times. Have him go one-on-one with Triple H, and see how that pans out. If he's still red hot at that point, put the strap on him. We also got to see what happens with Daniel Bryan when he comes back, and we also got Brock Lesnar coming back in the mix soon. I fully expect John Cena to wrestle Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, so we'll see what happens. And I hope that Brock Lesnar's at Night of Champions too, as the champion, because I'll be there live in Nashville, Tennessee. So, all good stuff. So that's my predictions for WWE Battleground. I'll go over the picks one more time just for the record. I got a couple things to plug after that, and then I'm gonna wrap this up. So I've got Naomi over Cameron, Rusev over Swagger, AJ Lee over Paige, the Wyatts over the Usos, Sheamus winning the 20-man Battle Royal for the IC belt, Wyatt over Jericho, Rollins over Ambrose, and Cena over Kane, Orton, and Reigns to retain the championship by probably pinning Kane. That's my guess. The next video I'm going to make is going to be about the UFC on Dublin, or I keep saying on Dublin, the UFC in Dublin. It's going to be on Fight Pass. It's coming up this Saturday for the UFC. I'll be doing a prediction video for that probably tomorrow. And I did make a video yesterday. If you haven't checked it out, if you're a fan of the UFC, I did review the UFC on Fox Sports 1 Fight Night card that they had last night. It was headlined by Jim Miller and Donald Cerrone, and it was a good show. It had also a headliner, Evan Dunham and Edson Barbosa. So if you're into mixed martial arts, check that out. Got some things to plug today. I want to the shirt I'm wearing here, it's Poetic Minds. It's an album called Walking Dead. My friend here, can't see when I'm pointing, right here, my buddy Jonte. He's also known as Da Poet, D-A-P-O-E-T, or I Am Da Poet, I-A-M, like one word, I am Da Poet. So it's I Am Da Poet, 3 words. He also has an album called A Change Gotta Come that I like a lot. That's a few years older. This Walking Dead album is pretty much brand new, just been out a couple weeks, or a couple months rather. Check it out. I think you can find it on iTunes still. Just search it on the internet, download it. I don't have a direct link for you here for YouTube and stuff, but if you're interested, shoot me a message on Twitter or here on YouTube, or a comment or something, and I'll get you the link so you can check it out. It doesn't cost much. It's just a few bucks, and it's really good stuff. Also, check out the Think Deep podcast. I did another episode with the Think Deep podcast yesterday. I was a guest again. I think that's like the 6th or 7th time I've been a guest on there. I think it's going to be a regular thing, so keep your eye out on Wednesdays for that. I think I'm going to start doing them on Wednesday pretty consistently. I love doing it, so I hope I continue to. So check out those videos on my page, my YouTube channel. Check them out. I have links all over Twitter about it, and you can also find them on Twitter and on YouTube. Their Twitter handle is at Think Deep Podcast, but there's only one P, so it's at ThinkDeepPodcast. So definitely check that out. That's a shout out to my buddy David Dilworth, who's got that running. He's the host of that show. Good work. I also want to plug my friend Daniel Salerson, also known as Diesel. He's a broadcaster for the New Orleans Pelicans, and he also recently started up with the New Orleans Saints. He has a podcast called The Black and Blue Report. You can find that on iTunes. That's the official podcast of the New Orleans Pelicans and the New Orleans Saints. So if you're in the NOLA area or anywhere, if you're a fan of the NBA, check out his podcast too, because that's not like me getting here on YouTube and putting something out there. He is employed by both sports franchises and does that professionally, so please check him out too. If you ever see me wearing like basketball jerseys on these videos, those are sent to me by him. So he's a good friend of mine, and he's known as Diesel. That's a nickname that I gave him back in high school, and he still uses that as his DJ name a lot. And that's a combination of his two names, Daniel Salerson, D. Sal. We were playing bowling one night back in high school. I'm a fan of professional wrestling. I think D. Sal, Diesel, Big Daddy Cool Diesel. You should call yourself Diesel. And it stuck. Everyone in college called him that. Some people didn't even know his real name. They all just called him Diesel. It was great. So that's going to wrap it up. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please follow me on Twitter. Both are at NOW_WORLD_ORDER. I'm especially active on Twitter on Mondays for Monday Night Raw. On Sundays if there's a big UFC or a big WWE event, or if TNA happens to be doing something, or Ring of Honor. On Saturdays I'm on there if there's a UFC event. Wednesdays if there's a UFC event. And Wednesday, check out my WCW. I do Women Crush Wednesday. I have a lot of girls who send me a lot of really, really beautiful, hot, sexy pictures, and I put those out there, so check those out. And today I'm doing something special on Thursdays too, so if you want to check that out, jump on my Twitter. Please follow me. I will follow you back, and I will accept your follower request. Even though my account is private, I will make sure to follow you as long as you are a fan of professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, an interesting human being in general, or a good-looking girl. I'll be back soon with that UFC in Dublin on Fight Pass preview video. Y'all take it easy, be safe, and I will talk to y'all very, very soon. Bye-bye.